Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode on Usually Fixing and Tinkering. Now, as some of you may have seen in a very spontaneous live stream, which was quite interesting just to put on the hottest day of this year, me and Richard, who owns a very early F-Reg LX that you've seen in previous episodes, we've co-partnered to buy a Ford Fiesta. Yeah, she's just hanging around over there. Yeah, hello, Richard. Yeah, he's just photo bombing or video bombing. So we've bought this Mark III Fiesta that you can see in front of us, as per the thumbnail, and we are, as you are aware, stripping it. Now, we've bought this car for £380 with some delivery costs because it's not runner. Well, it is a runner. It does run, although I can't really start it up today because we've run out of fuel. Although I can show you what works and what doesn't work. The history behind this car was it was laid up for a fair few years. It ended up on a farm, hence why you've got all these cobwebs that are still there that we haven't removed. This is a pretty tired car at the end of its life. And unfortunately, the reason that this car is not viable as a project, this is a 1.4 Ghia with the CTX automatic transmission. Now, this is why I'm interested in the car, but it is also because it's an early car, and early Mark IIIs are getting rare when it comes to ones that are coming up that are even viable for braking. Some of them are not even viable to be broken for spares because there's so few parts of them that actually are working, are viable. This car does have a fair few bits. Some are broken, some are not. So I'm going to be going around the car and actually showing you exactly what is working and not. But it's fair to say that this car's changed hands a few times, and we knew what we were buying, and we knew what we wanted to buy it for, and that is to strip it for spares. And I had no guilt on my conscience whatsoever because of some one or two things, which means that this car just cannot be MOT'd, and is not really a safe car unless it had some structural bodywork done to it underneath, which even then I would say with the creases isn't particularly viable. This car is quite solid in the sill department, which is disappointing for the rest of the car, but unfortunately there's an elephant in the room with this car, which is why it just has to go for braking. It is an opportunity for me and Richard to take as many parts as possible, and also because it's a pre-cat car, nobody wanted it because there's no money in it basically because there's no cat. Fantastic for me and Richard. Anyway, the elephant in the room is this. So we get out the car, and do you notice something? I don't think you'll be able to notice. Yeah, the floor's got a hump in it. Look at that. This is like a mountain, unfortunately. I'll just kneel down. Somebody has jacked up on the floor and it's bent the whole floor in a V. What a pity. It's so solid, this thing. I think it's not been welded before. The arches have gone at the back, but it's been bent on that side. It's bent even worse on that side. Somebody has jacked this car up. I believe it was on a farm, and somebody tried to jack it up on the sills and they didn't know what they were doing. Oh, we'll just jack it up on the floor, and it's gone. That would need significant bodywork to rectify, and I wouldn't consider this a safe car to drive, because effectively the bodywork is in a V shape, and effectively where it is in supposedly one of the strongest parts of the car, particularly with these box sections that the seats sit on. Now, these cars are not strong anyway, but this is now a bit of a death trap as it is, and it can't be MOT'd, unfortunately. So I'm going to show you around this car, And actually, I'll show you what works. Well, first of all, obviously, because it's a 1991 Ghia, it may have been a late 90 car for one particular reason. But we have the two-tone sort of Ghia seats that you'll get in this. It is a blue interior. Now, me and Richard cannot use this interior, but we're going to take as much as we can, and we'll just try and get some money back. Somebody will want it for very little money. So we'll go with that. But these seats are, baggy, but the material is in good condition. So I think these seats may be able to be refurbished. That's all right, we just tuck that in. But yeah, that's the interior at the back as well. We are missing a parcel shelf. We're missing quite a few bits. We're missing a couple of door handles and surrounds, and I think we're missing one of them, but we've got that one on that side, this cubby. Somebody's been in with the fuse box at some point, but we're not sure what. I've just hooked Ruby's battery and the terminal conversion kit on it. It did have, well, obviously the original mirrors come off with the glue, and somebody's tried to put that on. It's fallen off, and it's just a universal one. This might be the reason why the car may not have started in the first place. It's obviously had a replacement mechanical pump. The original one is an AC manufacturer, but this would be an original one from Ford. So that is possibly why the car, I think it needed that part in order to get it going. These mechanical pumps just don't do well with sitting, and Ruby needed the same job basically. The car has done 52,000 miles. The gearbox does work perfectly, and I've seen it in action. We could try for a start, but unfortunately I don't think it's going to start. Oh, it started. No, it hasn't. Yeah, we've got the choke on because it's a carburettor, which is fantastic because I can take some rare bits off this. But no good. Okay, we're literally out of fuel, and that's as good as what you're going to get today. We actually ran it for 30 seconds, and that engine sounded really quiet, that CVH. We are really impressed with that engine. So we're going to take as much as we can out. We've got some working switches here and there. I mean, the wipers work, you know, the heater fan works, the fog works, the headlights work. It's all fantastic. I just try not to blow it on too much. Believe it or not, this car's got a heated front windscreen, and I can see the lines. Oh, that is so rare. See if we can get this screen out. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see what we can do. The cigarette lighter has seen better days. The radio has been cut off. Yep. This passenger door window is doing exactly the same as what Ruby did. And the window stays where it is. Fantastic. It's a working motor, but the window regulator has clicked back into place rather nastily. That's fantastic. So we're definitely not taking that. We're not sure about the boot release. That's not working, but I've got a feeling it's a dirty contact. I'll get that working. Actually, it's because I've got the key in, but it still doesn't work. No, not at all. We tried it earlier with the boot shut, but it just won't work. But this side will work. Tell you what, actually, I was going to say the starter motor sounds really healthy, actually. I'll just try it again. That's fine. Okay, I'll leave it there. But that's the interior. Clock's not working. Blue dashboard, blue interior. This interior replaced sort of the earlier gear. I mean, I've got the early interior set, and it's 50-50 whether we will try and resell these as best as possible. Every little part counts. The red has faded from these a lot, but you know what? It's all right. It's not too bad. We can take them. Obviously, we want some of the seat belts because the seat belts come with the earlier fitting, not the hook fitting. The steering wheel is in good condition. We'll take as much as what we possibly can. I'll just bring it around here. Some of the mouldings have been bashed to death, and someone's put a screw in there. Someone's been trying to steal this car at some point. It's a pity. It's had a bit of a life, this car, and I can see it. Headlights are in good condition. We think one of them's been replaced because one of them is actually in the boot. I think this one's actually been the replacement. It is a Dagenham car, hence we've got seam seal around here and around here. The CVH is very honest, and that's what I will say. It's got a distributor. I couldn't believe it. So for those of you who are Mark III geeks, possibly know around 1990 on the CVH they replaced the distributor with its coil with a coil pack driven by an ignition module mounted here. So it had a basic ignition control. However, this is an old-fashioned Dizzy, which makes me think, how can this be a June 2001 registration? It must, a June 1991 registration, sorry. This must be a 90 car, so I reckon it is. The paint is a little bit greener on the later cars. The early ones, like Ruby, have got this sort of navy, sort of dark green sort of colour, where this is lighter. The servo looks in amazing condition. It does look, though, there is signs that the master cylinder might be leaking. It's the original, but we'll take as much as we can. Obviously the automatic CVT box. I'll see if I can get the dipstick out on this one. Yeah, it's got some fluid on it. I mean, it's got fluid there, and it's actually quite pink, which is a really good sign. This gearbox is coming out in one way or the other. Fan possibly works, we don't quite know. I might have to bridge it, but there's a lot of originality with this car. I mean, it's even got these bits. I think I'm missing these on Ruby, where there's a bit of rubber that goes over the front, so I'll take these off and I'll fit them to Ruby as best as I can. Unfortunately, this deflector here has turned to cardboard, literally. It's just gone. That's all right. Some things you can't do. And I've got some rot on the front valance there, but you know. The front bumper looks actually really good. I think that front bumper might be so good, it might even be better than the one I've got on Ruby, believe it or not, so I might take that. The back bumper is not so good, but it really is, do you know, it sounds like a good engine, this, and we're going to go to town with this, straight from the off. You can see what we're working with here. But in terms of everything else, even the wheels, we may take a wheel, but they're the later wheels with more vents. The earlier cars have bigger vents on the steelies, believe it or not. There is some corrosion. There's actually some rot going through down here. Typical place, really. It's had some money spent on it, because look at that. It's had a spring fitted. That's really nice to know. That's really interesting. I don't know what we're going to do in terms of suspension, but we'll see what we can do. It's got some etchings. It's a triplets glass in this. The weather strips are in great condition. They're going to come off. And the door handles, they flip back. So Richard's going to have some door handles because his return springs are very poor. I'll just open this up. It was registered at White. White? Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Well, the registration is H343HOD. That's interesting. That was the original registration plate at the front. We have remnants of a headlight and the most amazing cobwebs you've ever seen, ever. Apart from that, I think I can get these pieces of foam out because I need these for Ruby. One of them's broken on Ruby. We're going to get as much out as possible, speakers, and you know what, it's really good. Richard's going to take the tailgate because he needs the tailgate. Get some switches out and we'll take as much as we can. If I could just fit you underneath. Yeah, we're missing a back box. I think that's why it sounded a bit funny. That's okay. It looks quite rotty under here, but yeah, we'll soon see. We'll get this spare wheel carrier down as well, because that looks like an early one to me, because they changed the spare wheel carriers for larger ones later on. There's no rot around the filler cap either. That's such a shame. Again, we've got the usual. It's had patchwork. Yeah, it's had patchwork done down here. It's not very neat. It's had 2 new rear springs. That's interesting. So it must have had it very. I mean, they don't even look like a year old. This is starting to corrode again. This, Richard, is what I was talking about. So mine actually rotted here, where it disappears. So it goes down because it's to guide the window down, and it rotted down here. Those of you who watch that video will know what I'm talking about. Well, look, it's starting to go here. and I can guarantee if we go in there, I reckon it's a bit crusty. Things like that you just don't know until you realise that your window's a bit sloppy. But the central locking works, no problems at all. The sunroof is coming out. It's obviously got corrosion going on around here, all the way around actually. The aerial will come out, no problem. Oh, the door mirrors will come out. Quite a few things are going to come out of this car, and the bonnet is reasonably speckly, but it's actually not dented, so that's perfect for a V-spray. In terms of body panels, I think we're just going to take probably a couple off. But anyway, we're going to use this as the parts bin department. This boot carpet is coming out, and we'll get a few more bits and pieces out. So there, it is unfortunately the end of this car's life. They can't all survive, and this one probably died a death a few years ago now. So yeah, it's sad, but not everyone's going to make it, and this car is going to keep 2 F-Regs on the road, and what more can I say from that? Nobody else would ever take this on. In fact, if I brought this home to bring it up to life and bring it up to a good standard, I think I'd have to be utterly... people would question my sanity, even in the car world. Everybody loves a project, but this isn't really a project. It's a bit of a non-starter, and you have to look at it that way. Anyway, you take care, guys. I shall see you in another episode. Goodbye, sir.